Have you ever watched your favorite team get so tantalizingly close to greatness that you can practically taste the confetti, only to see them crumble when it matters most because they're missing one crucial element? That's exactly where the Golden State Warriors find themselves right now, and their potential solution comes in the form of a 37-year-old veteran who could either be the final piece of their championship puzzle or an expensive mistake that haunts them for years to come. The championship blueprint that's haunting Golden State. The Warriors are living in a basketball purgatory that would drive any championship-hungry fan base to the brink of madness. They've got Stephen Curry still dropping nuclear three-pointers like he's playing a video game on rookie mode, Draymond Green orchestrating defensive symphonies, and enough talent to make opposing coaches lose sleep. Yet they're watching teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers dance past them in the playoffs with one key advantage: versatile big men who can stretch the floor and protect the rim. It's like having a Ferrari with 3 perfect wheels and one that's barely holding on. You can still drive fast, but you're never going to win the race when it counts. The Warriors have watched helplessly as teams with legitimate stretch-5 centers have dominated playoff basketball, turning their small ball revolution into yesterday's news. Enter Brook Lopez, the 37-year-old Milwaukee Bucks center who represents either Golden State's salvation or their most expensive midlife crisis. At $48 million over the past 2 seasons, Lopez isn't just another free agent acquisition. He's a statement about whether the Warriors believe they can squeeze one more championship run out of their aging core. The Lopez equation: championship veteran meets desperate contender. Brook Lopez's basketball journey reads like a masterclass in reinvention and longevity. Once primarily known as a post-up center who lived in the paint, Lopez has transformed himself into the exact type of player that modern championship teams covet. A rim protector who can step out and drain three-pointers with the confidence of a career shooter. Since the start of the 2022-23 season, Lopez has been launching 1.8 three-pointers per game while connecting at a scorching 37.1% clip. Those aren't just solid numbers for a center. They're elite efficiency marks that would make many guards jealous. His outside shooting has aged like the finest wine, getting better with time while most players his age are watching their skills deteriorate. But Lopez brings more than just offensive versatility to the table. His defensive resume includes 2 all-defensive team selections and a second-place finish in Defensive Player of the Year voting following the 2022-23 campaign. He's the rare big man who can anchor a defense while providing the floor spacing that modern offenses desperately need. Most importantly, Lopez carries the championship DNA that separates winners from pretenders. His 2021 NBA title with Milwaukee gives him the credibility to walk into Golden State's championship or bust culture and immediately command respect from players who know what it takes to win at the highest level. The uncomfortable truth about Golden State's size problem. Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the lack of elephants in Golden State's room. The Warriors have built their dynasty on revolutionary small ball concepts, but the league has evolved past their innovation. Teams are now deploying big men who can do everything small ball lineups can do, plus provide the rim protection and rebounding that Golden State desperately lacks. Watch the Warriors in crucial playoff moments, and you'll see the same painful pattern: opponents attacking the rim with impunity, offensive rebounds extending possessions, and Golden State's guards getting worn down by having to cover for their lack of interior presence. It's death by 1,000 cuts, and each cut comes from their inability to match up with teams that have legitimate rim-running, floor-stretching centers. Lopez would immediately solve multiple problems. His 7-foot frame and shot-blocking instincts would give opponents pause before attacking the basket. His three-point shooting would prevent teams from sagging off him and clogging driving lanes for Curry and the Warriors' perimeter attackers. His championship experience would provide invaluable leadership during those crucial playoff moments when inexperience can cost teams everything. The devil in the details. Lopez's limitations exposed before Warriors fans start measuring for championship rings. Let's pump the brakes and examine why Lopez might not be the savior they're hoping for. The Indiana Pacers provided a masterclass in Lopez exploitation during their first-round playoff series against Milwaukee, essentially playing him off the floor by forcing him into uncomfortable switching situations. At 37, Lopez simply lacks the foot speed to stay with modern wing players who can attack him in space. His defensive value plummets when he's pulled away from the rim, where his instincts and positioning make him elite. Against faster, more athletic teams, exactly the type Golden State would face in Western Conference playoff battles, Lopez could become a liability that opponents target relentlessly. The age factor looms large over any potential Lopez acquisition. While his shooting has remained consistent, Father Time remains undefeated in professional sports, banking a championship run on a 37-year-old center who's already showing defensive limitations against elite competition feels like a desperate gamble rather than a calculated championship move. The market battle, Lakers, Bucks, and the price of desperation. Lopez's free agency won't happen in a vacuum, and that's where things get interesting and expensive for Golden State. The Milwaukee Bucks will presumably want to retain their defensive anchor as they try to convince Giannis Antetokounmpo that staying put gives him the best chance at another title. Trading away a key piece of their championship-caliber defense would send the wrong message to their two-time MVP. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Lakers are facing similar big man deficiencies and possess the financial flexibility to make Lopez an attractive offer. LeBron James and Anthony Davis need exactly what Lopez provides: rim protection, floor spacing, and championship experience. A bidding war between desperate contenders could drive Lopez's price well beyond what his on-court production justifies. For Golden State, overpaying for Lopez would represent the classic win-now mentality that championship contenders face when their window starts closing. Do you mortgage future flexibility for a player who might give you 1 or 2 solid seasons? Or do you stay patient and risk watching your championship window slam shut? The championship verdict: calculated risk or desperate gamble? The Brook Lopez decision will define how the Warriors view their remaining championship window with Curry, Green, and their aging core. If they believe they have 2 or 3 more legitimate title runs left, Lopez makes perfect sense as a high-floor, moderate-ceiling addition who addresses their most glaring weaknesses. But if this is their last dance, if next season represents their final realistic championship opportunity, then Lopez's limitations become magnified. Can a 37-year-old center who gets played off the floor against elite competition really be the missing piece for a championship run through the Western Conference gauntlet? The answer might depend less on Lopez's individual abilities and more on how the Warriors construct the rest of their roster. Surrounded by the right complementary pieces, Lopez could thrive in Golden State's system. But as a standalone solution to their championship puzzle, he feels more like an expensive Band-Aid than a cure. Golden State stands at a crossroads that will define the final chapter of their dynasty. The Lopez decision, whether they pursue him, how much they're willing to pay, and how they integrate him into their championship plans, will tell us everything we need to know about whether the Warriors are serious contenders or just another aging team clinging to past glory. What's your take on this potential championship chess move? Would Lopez be the perfect veteran addition to push the Warriors over the top, or are they better off looking elsewhere for their big man solution? Sound off in the comments with your thoughts, and hit that like button if you're as fascinated as I am by these make-or-break roster decisions that separate champions from almost rans.